Welcome everyone to HueFin News. Today is December the 29th, 2017, and this is our daily cryptocurrency market analysis. Appreciate you all tuning in for today and the last couple of days. If you guys follow us on Twitter, we sent out a tweet letting you guys know that we were not able to do an analysis for the last couple of days due to the fact that we had intermittent internet access, and it wasn't conducive for us to continue to try to upload these videos to YouTube. And rather than giving you guys bad service, we just saw fit to just say that we'll come back on today and start our cryptocurrency market analysis once again. And even though we did not place any videos on YouTube, needless to say, the cryptocurrency market was erratic. Did a lot of wild swings for all these particular altcoins. And if you guys continue to watch these charts, you as well saw the changes in these particular cryptocurrencies, and we'll talk about that as we get into the cryptocurrencies that we do on a regular basis. Before we get started, you all know that we are not investment advisors and we are not giving you investment advice, but rather we are giving you the language of the financial markets, the one tool that so many investors are forgetting about as they trade their own particular funds. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into these particular charts and see exactly what occurred in the cryptocurrency space for today. Now, one of the things that I see here on this website is that Bitcoin dominance, if you guys been paying attention, has dwindled significantly since the last time we did our video. I think Bitcoin was around 55% of the market. Now they're at 39.9%, and the culprit would definitely be Ripple. You guys can see that they are now in the number 2 spot. Push Ethereum down to number 3. So that kind of tells you that the interest in Ripple is still there. You guys can see the disparity, because once we go to Bitfinex, you can see that this website is reading that Ripple is at $2.21, but it's not that at the Bitfinex exchange. So you guys want to be careful about these various cryptocurrency prices you get from these various exchanges, and you kind of understand that with a unregulated market you will get different prices from different exchanges, which is what is occurring right now in Ripple. But you can see that Bitcoin ended today slightly positive, up 0.69. Ripple is up 53.02%. Ethereum is up 2.24. Bitcoin Cash as well, 8.40. Cardano up 30.06. Litecoin ended the day lower, 0.81. Guys can see IOTA ended 1.25%. Dash, Monero both down. Stellar is up 44.16. So you guys can see that there's a lot of switching, changing in number of spots for these cryptocurrencies, and this is something that will continue to happen as the market matures, and we will accordingly adjust our analysis to that fact as well. So now let's go ahead and look at Bitfinex. So Bitcoin, you guys can see, is up 0.55%. Last trade was $14,331. So see that on the 22nd of December, the market giving us a very wide down spread bar, but the market closed towards the middle of the bar on very high volume, which tells us that the buyers came in around $13,000. And ever since then, you guys can see on the regular daily price charts bars that Bitcoin did not fall below $1,300. It didn't close above $1,300 since then, but it ran across some resistance around 16,000. So that is the resistance area for Bitcoin, and 13,000 is that support area for Bitcoin. So given the fact that we had this probable precursors of strength, this consumption type bar trading for today, the market did not necessarily give us interest in high prices, but the volume is still lighter than what it was yesterday. So the market is still giving us a lot more precursors of strength than it is weakness at the time. So when we move into a 3-hour chart, let's see what we get. So looking at the 3-hour chart, you guys can see that 14,000 is a probable area of support for Bitcoin. If the market breaks 14,000, then expect it to move right back down to 13,006, or ultimately can come back down to 13,200 once again. But we're definitely getting a lot of more strength bars on this particular chart for Bitcoin. So our analysis is for them to continue to move higher. That first location is going to be $14,800. If it can break $14,400, which it's trying to do right now, expect Bitcoin to at least come back up to 14.8. But overall, we're still looking for Bitcoin to move higher. And if it can break 14.8, seeing that is an area of resistance, then it will definitely give it a chance to go back up to 15,200. But overall, we're still looking for Bitcoin to continue to move higher. We see a lot of precursors of strength bars around area of support. Is one of the reasons why we're stating that Bitcoin will continue to move higher. But in fact, Bitcoin will move lower. Then we gave you those price areas as well. 13,600 or even all the way back down to 13,002. But overall, we're looking for Bitcoin to move higher as well. So now let's go to Ethereum. So Ethereum is up 3.79%. Last trade was at $736.91. So you guys can see for today that Ethereum is still maintaining price. $650 is support. But you guys can also tell that $750 is resistance for Ethereum as well. But on the daily price bars, we are getting a lot more strength in Ethereum at this time as well. So our analysis for them is to continue to move higher. Given the fact that we do have stockpile on this bar, it's a probability that Ethereum can move lower. But once the market participants consume all of the stockpile that is being sold at this price area, expect Ethereum to continue to move higher. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and move to a smaller time frame. So this is the 3-hour chart for Ethereum. You can see that this last 3-hour bar, Ethereum came all the way down to 720. Which is acting as support now for Ethereum, but it was acting as resistance back on this chart around that area. But it's still good to see that Ethereum is still maintaining price. We're not necessarily getting a lot of precursors of weakness in Ethereum as well. So our analysis is for them to move higher. And it's probable that Ethereum can come up into and around $760. Okay, so that's our analysis for Ethereum to at least move higher. And it's to $760, or it might just come to $750. But nevertheless, we're still looking for Ethereum to move higher. So that is going to be our analysis for Ethereum on tomorrow. So now let's go to Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash is up 5.69%. Last trade, $2,613.50. So we had a very wild trading day for Bitcoin Cash. You guys can see that the market moved lower, moved higher. Stockpile came in on the bar, but the market was still able to close above the close from yesterday, which is a pretty good sign to see, given the fact that the volume is a lot heavier than what it's been the last 2 trading days. So obviously the market is still primed for higher prices at this time, but let's see how high it could go. So the market was giving us precursors of strength bars here around $2,300, and the market moved higher. You guys can see that we had this very wide spread bar that closed higher than the previous close, but stockpile still came in the bar, but the market participants bought up all the selling that occurred on that particular bar right here around 25.92, around 25.50. That's where the market participants came in and stepped in and bought up all the selling, and we're still getting stockpile on the bars around this price. But the market participants are currently trying to buy up all the selling that is occurring in Bitcoin Cash, which is giving us a lot of indications that it's wanting to move higher. The next area will be again $2,700, ultimately back up to around $2,900. But if they cannot maintain the buying from the selling that is occurring right now, then Bitcoin Cash will come back down to 2,500 and around that area. Ultimately, it can come all the way back down to $2,400 as well. But given the 3-hour bars, it looks like Bitcoin Cash will continue to move higher. So let's move into a 1-hour bar. So you guys can see on the 1-hour bar, the market did move up to 2760. Market participants came in and pushed the market down. So currently on the 1-hour bars, we're getting weakness in Bitcoin Cash, expected to at least come down to 2560 to find support, or ultimately can come back down to 2520 as well. But we're definitely getting weakness on the 1-hour chart for Bitcoin Cash, and we told you it's running a higher probability of coming back to 2560. If the market cannot hold, if this particular 1-hour bar closes above this close, then it's for certain that Bitcoin Cash will be moving higher. 2640 will be the first area, but ultimately might come to 2680 as well. So now let's go ahead and go to looking at the 1-hour chart. It looks like Bitcoin Cash is giving us weakness, and as we stated earlier, 2560 is that support line that we would expect Bitcoin Cash to at least come to in around 2560. It might just come back down to 2570 and bounce there and move higher. But definitely the market is finding support around 2560. And like I said, on the 3-hour bars, the market is giving us more precursors of strength and weakness in Bitcoin Cash. So our analysis is overall is for them to continue to move higher. So now let's go to Ripple. So Ripple is up 54.17%. Last trade was $1.94. And Ripple has definitely given us a very strong precursors of strength bar push to go up. The market is definitely anticipating higher prices. Even though the bar closed slightly off of the highs today, we're still expecting Ripple long term to continue to move higher, given this very widespread bar. But since the bar closed off of the lows, let's see how low can Ripple move to. So let's move to the 1-hour bars. So definitely $1.85 could be support for Ripple. Ultimately, it could come back down to $1.80. But even on the 1-hour bars, you guys can see that we're still getting precursors of strength in Ripple at this time. So our analysis is for them to continue to move higher. But in the event it moves lower, 185 or even $1.80 will be the next area that we're looking for Ripple to come to find support. So now let's go to Litecoin. So Litecoin is down 3.73%. Last trade, $238.50. So the market is still giving us weakness in Litecoin. We're not seeing too many precursors of strength bars on the daily chart. So the market for Litecoin is definitely giving us the indication that it wants to continue to move lower. And right now it's trading around the area of support around $240. If the market cannot hold $240, then expect it to come back down to $220. Ultimately, it can come all the way down to $200 once again. Let's look at the 3-hour bars and see. So definitely we're looking for Litecoin to come to $236 and around that area to find support. It might need to come to the lows of these particular bars, which is around $235. But ultimately, if Litecoin can't find support around $234, $235, then the next one would be $230. But then ultimately it could come all the way down to this low of this bar, which was $222. we're just not getting any precursors of strength in Litecoin at this time. So our analysis for them is for them to continue to move lower, and we're giving you those price areas for Litecoin to continue to move. And if it cannot maintain at least $222, the next area on the chart for Litecoin is around $200 for support if 220 would not hold. So we need to see precursors of strength right now around 240. If not 240, then 235. If not 235, then 230 or even 220. Those are the 4 price areas that Litecoin needs to give us precursors of strength, because Litecoin is going to find support at one of those price areas that we just mentioned. And once we get that, then we'll move in and place our trade. But currently, this is not a tradable coin because we're getting precursors of weakness on these particular price charts. So our analysis for Litecoin is for them to continue to move lower until it finds an area of support. So now let's go to Dash. So Dash is down 1.20% last trade, $1,078.90. So looking at the daily price chart for Dash, you guys can see that the market is maintained consolidation, just trading sideways over the last couple of trading days, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but support is around $1,000 and resistance is around $1,200. But I can tell you that we're not getting any precursors of strength for Dash as well. The market, it tried to maintain price around $1,100 with this probable consumption type bar, but on today's trading, the market shot higher, shot lower, and still was able to close in the middle. So again, that is like a wash again for trading between the buyers and sellers in the market. So today's trading, this current bar that is formed, is going to be the confirmation of whether the market's going to move higher or whether it's going to move lower. Okay, so let's look at the 3-hour bars and see what is occurring in Dash at the moment. So looking at the 3-hour bar for Dash, you guys can see that the market is still getting hit with weakness around $1,120. But definitely the market on the 3-hour bars is giving us some inclination of them wanting to move higher. But every time the market comes up to 1,120, it gets hit with a lot of stockpile and the market bounces. So let's move into a 1 hour and see what we have. Getting weakness in Dash at the moment. So our analysis for them is to continue to move lower. We're not getting a lot of precursors of strength bars for Dash at the moment. So the market will come down to find support for Dash, and it can find support around 1,040. But if not that, then it can come back down to $1,000 once again. But our analysis for Dash is for them to move lower. Dash might find support around this particular low, which was $1,055, around that area, and then move higher from there. But if not that, expect it to come back down to 1,000. So now let's go to NEO and see what we have. So NEO is up 10.93%. Last trade $71.13. So this was a consumption type bar, probable precursors of strength. The market has given us confirmation that NEO and the market participants are interested in higher prices, which is why the market closed towards the high of today's bar, and it's a push to go up bar. So on the daily price chart, NEO is definitely giving us the wantingness to move higher. So let's see, we do have stockpile on today's bar. So let's see that NEO runs the probability of coming back down to $70 to find support, and if it can't find support at 70, then it can come to and around $67.50. Okay, but overall we're still looking for NEO to continue to move higher. Once all of the stockpile becomes consumed and bought up by the market participants, then expect NEO to continue to move higher. Let's move to a 1 hour bar, see what we have. So we received stockpile on this particular bar, and the market is continuing to get that stockpile, and we're looking for support to be around $70 in NEO. If support is not going to hold at $70 for NEO, then the market will continue to move lower, and like we said, $67.50 will be the first area of support in NEO, and if not that, then expect it to come down to $65. But definitely long term, we're looking for NEO to move higher, but given the short term, expect it to move lower. The market may actually come all the way down to $70 as well, so keep that on your particular trading as well. So now let's go to IOTA. So IOTA is down 0.86%. Last trade was $3.58. So you guys can see that IOTA is consolidating on the open and close of each of these bars. The market is literally opening and closing around that same price area, even though we have wild swings moving higher and wild swings moving lower, but the market is not actually moving higher and lower. Okay, so that is a very good sign for IOTA to allow them to continue to move higher. Today was kind of a wash between the buyers and sellers in the market, so we had to move it to a 3 hour bar to see what we have. So yeah, the market continues to trade sideways in IOTA at the moment. Support is around $3.50. So IOTA can come back down to $3.50 or even $3.40 as well. The third area it could probably come down to is $3.20. But we're definitely getting indications of IOTA continue to move higher. So that's going to be our analysis for them to continue to move higher. That first area will be $3.70 back up to $3.80. Okay. But given the fact that the market is just simply trading sideways, it's telling us that it's prepping for higher prices. So now let's go to Monero. So Monero is down 1.79%. Last trade $342.18. So looking at the daily price chart for Monero, we're getting weakness in Monero again. On top of this, precursors of strength bar. The market participants are not ready to buy in Monero, so the market will continue at best to trade sideways. And that support area, we need to look at a 3 hour bar to see where support is. So support currently is where around $340 in Monero. Ultimately could come back down to $320 or even $300. But just like with IOTA, Monero is simply trading sideways. It's consolidating for the next move higher. So once that becomes completed, and then we're expecting Monero to move higher. That first area will be $360, ultimately back up to $380. So long term, we're looking for Monero to continue to move higher, but at this time, the market will continue to trade sideways, possibly come all the way back down to $320 or even $300 in and around that area. But we're liking the fact that Monero is in consolidation right now, and once all of the selling becomes bought up in Monero, expected to move higher. We're looking for them to at least come to and around this low, which is $333 or even $320 for Monero. So let's see on the 1 hours. So $340 has been acting as support for Monero. If it breaks $340 again, then expect it to come down to this particular low, which was $333. Ultimately, it can come all the way back down to 320 if none of those price area that we just mentioned holds. Then expect it to come back down and touch 320. But like we said, we're still looking for Monero to continue to move higher. But at this time that we're doing this video, it's consolidating trading range, trying to buy up all the selling that is occurring right now. Once that's finished, then expect Monero to move higher. So we told you how low to expect Monero to move once that completes. Okay, so appreciate you all watching. Know we've been out for a while. We're back on our grind. We're back here to give you guys the news according to the charts. Appreciate you all watching. Hope you guys are gaining that confidence to understand that you too can read the markets without placing a lot of indicators on your charts to give you analysis paralysis. We make it simple. We eliminate the confusion. That is our purpose of giving you this particular news. So that's all we have here for today. You guys stay profitable, and I will talk to you all later.